So I had people on Instagram ask me questions so that I would answer them on my YouTube channel today. But first we're going to go over who I am as a person, and then we'll get into the more nitty-gritty questions. First one's going to be, how did you get started in content creation and social media? So I was in college when I was starting to go into marketing and business admin and all those things at University of Oregon. I really didn't have a true direction of what I wanted to do, but I knew that I wanted to be more creative because I was an art kid all throughout high school, and I still wanted to be able to tap into that side of myself in my career. I kind of got into social media starting out with referrals for people who were on projects at U of O and just working on their social media because I liked the graphic design portion of it when I started taking graphic design classes back in high school, actually. And then that translated into social media work because I was designing graphics in college. And then when I graduated, it was kind of a shit show because it was COVID. And so at that point, I was just kind of taking on whatever work I could. And social media was what seemed to keep coming up for me. So I kept doing it. That's what I ended up getting work in for corporate jobs as well. And I just kept going at it. And there's parts of it that I really do enjoy. And I'm still figuring out the parts that I don't like. But something that always really made me want to go into the more creative side of things, like art direction, where those were always the best conversations that I had with people, were anything involving art direction and working on sets, producing things, like doing bigger things outside of social media or making things look really cool on social media was something that I really enjoyed. So like those are the reasons why I kind of go more into the creative side over the analytical side. Whenever I have a conversation with an art director or creative director, that just seems like so much more fun to me and like genuinely like such a cool job that I feel like I've been training for with my Pinterest boards and my creation over the years and just my artsy side over the years that I just always feel like needs to be there, else I go crazy. If I have periods where I'm not making something or I'm not creating, I feel like just dead on the inside, which I don't like. So that's kind of where I got on this journey, and that's why I am here. Okay, so now we'll go into the submitted questions. I just feel like sometimes context is important to these two. All right, so one of the first questions I got was favorite show. We'll start easy and kind of ease our way into the more intense ones. Not even intense, just, more thought-provoking. I really am a big fan of Parks and Rec when I'm bored and just want to watch something where I don't have to think, that's funny and nice. And then usually when I'm trying to get into something more intense, I'll try to seek out different documentaries like on my own. I don't really watch a whole lot of TV on my own. Usually it's like I like to have people with me like commentating on it. So if I also want to watch something really dumb and just like mind numbing, I also love The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. You cannot convince me that there is a better show on Bravo than that. Genuinely, like that is the only Real Housewives I watched even to this day. Other people have recommended me getting into Beverly Hills or Rhode Island or New York, and I just cannot get into it the same as I can with Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I think it's one of those franchises where it's like it's the one and done for me for a spin-off of, is it even a spin-off? Is it called that? I don't know, but like I love that show so much. And also my parents live in Park City, so I get to drive by and see all the locations where they have been filming, and I'm a big fan of that. So big fan of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I also am really into anything like supernatural paranormal shows. Like I'm a big Vampire Diaries girly. I am a huge What We Do in the Shadows girly. Anything with vampires specifically, like that is my jam. Like I'm a Twilight girly through and through. I had someone ask what my hair routine was. I'll kind of go into like what I do to shower. It's not that complicated. I think a big part of why my hair is the way it is truly just genetics. And that's about it. Like I just wake up and hope for the best usually when it comes to my hair routine. But when I'm showering right now, I think the products that I've really enjoyed the most in terms of like conditioner is Monday's curly conditioner specifically. I'll have a picture of it somewhere and just put it right there. But I use that, and that's what I use pretty much daily for like conditioning if I'm showering. And I only shampoo like once a week, and I'm not very picky with my shampoos. Sometimes I'll use Monday's shampoo. Sometimes I just use whatever the cheapest shampoo is available. Usually Cantu is a big one. I think that's how you say it. I really like their hair products. They're really good. I tend to go into the curly hair section or anything that is Black owned because they tend to have better hair ingredients. So I will also use Miss Jessie's. That's a big one for when I'm like out of the shower and just like putting in product in my hair after I come out. And then I also use, 1 second, we're gonna go look that up. Yeah, it's the Shea Moisture leave-in conditioner that I also use, especially if it's like nighttime and I'm showering and then going to bed. And then I have a silk pillowcase and these big silk hair ties that are like the scrunchies almost. So that's what I do currently for that. It's not a very complicated routine. And then I have like I don't use a regular hairbrush. I use a wet brush for that, or a wide tooth comb. I use a wide tooth comb in the shower, and then I use a wet brush. This is another one from one of my friends, and I know she is definitely trolling me at this point. Best chair you've ever sat in. I don't think I really have an answer to that. Like, I like the massage chairs at nail salons. That's a really fun vibe. But I also really like sitting in chairs that I'm not supposed to sit in too. Like, you know how like your parents will sometimes in like your living room have like a specific spot they like to sit in? Those are somehow the most comfy spots in the house. And those are the spots that my family's dogs like to go near so that I can snuggle them. So I like to go sit in those spots too until I get kicked out by a parent. Maybe that makes me a bad daughter. I don't know. Favorite local hidden gem. I'm assuming that means for PDX. So we'll answer based on that. Eam. I love Thai barbecue. It's called EEM. Eam. You can't get a reservation for it. It takes an hour to get in. It's worth it. And I hate reservations. I say this is somebody who hates reservations. But I will sit and wait in a line for 2 hours for this place. I could just annihilate a whole plate of their barbecue fried rice. Their Instagram is hilarious. It is literally in all caps for every single caption. And they know they can get away with it because it's Eam and it's that good. But it is by far, every time I've taken someone there and they're like, what is this? Like, they're looking at me like I'm crazy until they eat it. And they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm always right. So Eam in Portland is some of the best food I think I've ever had. What do you do or think about on days where it's hard to show up for yourself? Oh, there's so many jokes I can make for this. I can't say them, but there's so many. Well, see, my solution, and this is not a healthy solution. My solution is always just work more. If I don't like something, I will start to scramble and find ways to make it better. If it's like, I feel like I don't have any money, like I will randomly just start doing things to make more money that maybe burn me out or make me more tired, or just like, even just like posting more content and stuff like that. If I feel like I'm not, getting enough out of what I'm making, like I will just start making more, and then that starts to burn me out a little bit. So that's like the bad answer, is I just start trying to find a million ways to solve the problem so it doesn't occupy space in my brain, which is not a good thing. And like sometimes you do need to sit with those problems and realize why they make you feel so sad and insecure when there's truly nothing you can do about it sometimes. But when it's hard to show up for myself, I do try to also like feel it. And I think a big part of it for me too is also like seeing the bigger picture of like what I'm doing, and not isolating myself. I think that's a big thing that I've tried to remember for myself, is to not stay in my studio apartment and, cry about it, like actually do something about it has also been, kind of the more positive spin of like what I was mentioning earlier. Like being around people, being around friends. I have a lot of really good friends nearby, and I feel like over the years I've had people who were like not very supportive whenever I've had down days and stuff like that, which ended up ultimately making things worse. But I feel like the people that are in my life at this moment in time generally are pretty supportive and patient with me, and that's something that I don't think everybody has, so I'm grateful for that too. All right, so here's another question I got. What's something you're so super proud of that you cannot wait to tell new people about? I am currently in the works of like really building my freelance journey and taking a new direction in my career, because I feel like the last chapter of my career was really not what I wanted it to be. I was graduating college during the pandemic and just kind of scrambling to find whatever I could just to like stay afloat and not be in my parents' basement basically. And I feel like I made a lot of really not so great decisions. And I feel like I'm taking this next step very intentionally and with a lot more maturity and feeling like a lot more grounded in myself and like what I actually want to be doing with my life, even if it's the scary path that like everybody claims is super unstable. That was something that was grilled a lot into me when I was working in corporate specifically, was like how unstable everything was, and like I should just be grateful I have a job. And then it just was like a whole thing. So it definitely put a lot of like insecurity in me. It made me feel like I was not that good of a person. It made me feel like I was bad at everything. And then feeling like no one was gonna like take me seriously or like support me in any way. But like now that I'm doing this on my own, like at the end of the day, like I'm just gonna bet on myself and hope for the best. And so far, you know, there's things in the works right now that are like slowly kind of coming together, and I'm like really excited to see that come through. And those were the questions that I had from Instagram. So basically, we'll see if I do another one of these Q&As. I'll probably wait a little bit, but it was just like a fun little thing that I wanted to do, just to kind of kick off my channel a little more, just sit in front of the camera and just start talking, because I feel like that's something that I really want to get more comfortable with. So we're just going to leave this here. You can subscribe, or you can like the video, or you can not do any of it. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You have free will. So I will see you next video, hopefully. And that'll be all for right now.